The first step in installing your K&N Intake 57-3058 is to turn the engine off and disconnect the negative battery cable. Next, disconnect the electrical connection from the mass air sensor and remove the engine cover by lifting it up and pulling it off the engine. Unhook the radiator hose mount from the intake tube and disconnect the crankcase vent hose from the valve cover. Loosen the hose clamps that secure the stock intake tube to the throttle body and mass air sensor. Then, remove the intake tube from the vehicle. Firmly pull on the stock airbox to release it from its mounting grommets and remove the entire assembly. Then, simply remove the mass air sensor by loosening the hose clamp. Next, attach the filter adapter and L bracket to the heat shield using the included hardware. Find the two 5/16 nuts. Then, put them in place of the stock airbox mounting grommets. Take the heat shield and put it onto the airbox mounting tray. Secure the heat shield using the 5/16 nuts and bolts that came with the air intake kit. Use the L bracket to attach the heat shield to the inner fender. Next, place one of the silicone hoses onto the filter adapter and the other onto the throttle body. Secure them with the hose clamps. Then, install the mass air sensor to the filter adapter and secure it using a hose clamp. Now it's time to install the NPT fitting into the K&N Air Intake tube, as well as the L bracket. Place the silicone hump hose onto the K&N Air Intake tube with a hose clamp. Install the K&N Air Intake tube into the silicone hoses at the throttle body and mass air sensor. It plugs into the silicone hoses and is tightened using the included hose clamps. Then, reinstall the radiator hose mount using the mounting bracket on the K&N Air Intake tube. This should be secured with a tie wrap. Install the crankcase vent hose onto the valve cover and then to the K&N Air Intake tube. Place the K&N air filter into the heat shield and secure with the appropriate hose clamp. Next, install the edge trim to the filter cover and place it on top of the heat shield, securing it with the provided hardware. Finally, reinstall the engine cover and reconnect the mass air sensor electrical connection and the vehicle's negative battery cable. Review the instruction sheets to make sure all steps were followed. After 100 miles of driving, check the nuts and bolts and retighten if necessary.